Good evening. Yeah, we're being creepy again. Why not? But look, I'm big. My face is big. It's here. I'm not a tiny thing in the corner anymore. It's amazing. I think it's working. We're working. Test everything. Yeah, everything seems to be going fine. Turn that back on. Everything's working. I messed with things a few minutes ago. Which is why I'm a little bit late. But here we go. Welcome to Lite, Byte, Midnight Snack Edition. This is the continuation of the August summer project, where we stream for a couple of hours every night, working on an animation from start to hopefully finish. Probably not completely finish, because there'll be some bits that are a bit boring afterwards, but I can do those. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We've got another 26 days. Yeah, 26 days left of animating. So it's going to be fun. We're going to model, and I'm pointing to the screen like you can see it, even though I know you can't. I'm going to hit play now, because I should have done that before. Let's get the music going, come on. Why won't the music play? Why isn't the music playing? Play. We are meant to have music on this stream, why do we not have music? I'm going to hit refresh on that, it doesn't seem to have worked. So that's disappeared. Let's try again, because we need music to chill. There we go. That's fine. And the joys of doing things live. There we go. There we go, it's back. Magic. The joys of doing this when you're not entirely prepared for doing anything. But here we go. We can have some fun, and we are hopefully going to seamlessly transition to our next screen. Nope. Yes. Got to turn the screen on first. That's always helpful. Right. Now, for those of you that were here previously, you may recognise our boy here talk, and we were almost finished. Almost finished last time. Just got one little thing left to do, and that is sort out his little toes, make his feet. And this is literally just going to be how I've decided just to make this as easy as you like. Oh dear. I was thinking originally making it easy, but this might not go well. Or should we? How should we do this? Here's the thing. Right. Where is toe? You need to be exactly where that is, so I can see. This can go a bit better. Right. Okay. So official. And again, as always, I always forget to do introductions. Hello, my name is Cennamo-Smith. I am an author of crime, fantasy, sci-fi, and soon horror. I am also an animator, gamer, those sort of things. We are working on an animation for based on one of my short stories, which you can read at the links below. There is a Patreon where you can read a load of cool free stuff. You can sign up for free to get absolutely everything. I forgot to post the update. This is some great advertising for my Patreon. I'm usually a bit better. It's August. August is throwing me off a little bit because of, yeah, there's a lot to do in very little time and lots of things to do whilst unfortunately schools are closed, so such as life. So I'll post that. It'll be late today. Sorry. Whilst you're here, we're going to do this live because absolutely why not? Let's get this going. We're going to go onto the Patreon because I did post the update. I didn't put it onto socials. So I'm going to copy link. We're going to send it to Instagram because that's where you post these things. Free news. Better. Sign up. That should be alright. Well, that's not a valid link. Of course not, that's text. I didn't put a link there. There we go, I can add there. Free newsletter sign up. Yeah, that'll be fine. Post that, done. There we go. Done. There we go. That's as organised as we have ever been. Oh, there's lots going on in that chat. Anyway, so yeah, we are working on this. If you want, you can pop over to my Patreon right now. There's a brand new update for the month. Lots of things happen. For a breakdown of the schedule for you, the first Monday of every month there is an update newsletter. The second Monday of every month is a noir crime thriller called Insecticide. The third Monday of every month is a light novel style episodic series called, well, we'll call it Tavern Story because it's got a traditionally very long stupid name because I thought it would be funny. And then on the last Monday of every month, we have a short story chosen by followers on Instagram and Patreon. You can choose what comes next. Mostly it's been people on Instagram choosing which Disney princess story I ruin next, and this time it's Cinderella, which will get done in time, I promise you. Mostly because there's 5 Mondays in this month, which means I have a Monday off to do some more writing, because I have not had enough time to do any writing this month. Do we just keep it real simple? I'm trying to grab. Why can I not grab that? Okay. Do 350 straight into there, and we're going to do that at 75. Now here's the thing. I said this previously. When we were talking about this is not going to be a high quality model, as it were. We are not modelling high. What we're doing is technically for the sake of running this on my feeble PC, which I have been informed will be out of date in approximately 2 months, because Windows 10 is being made redundant, effectively. There we go. Yeah, because Windows 10 is being made redundant, that means I need to get a brand new PC because this one is too old to upgrade to Windows 11, which pretty much sucks. But then again, this is a Windows 7 PC that I upgraded to Windows 10 and has survived very, very well, and I have not really updated it since or changed anything. I think for talk, for our boy talk, this should be absolutely fine, and I'm quite happy with him. So we're going to start off this stream by actually completing a model, and that's it, we're done. Absolute magic. Let's give him a quick render. I like the idea of doing low poly stuff as well, mostly because it's quick. But it can still look quite good if you're doing intentionally with a bit of style. And this is all going to be a stylized animation to be low poly, because it's going to be the story as the main focus, and then the animation is kind of secondary to that. It's also going to be quite dark because of the scene and the story, so you're really not going to see much of it. I'm also going to try and animate it like it's stop motion, because I thought that would be fun. And yes, I'm fully aware this cannot function at all. There is no way that this single beam can support this arm, and there's not even any wires or anything connecting. I might just put some wires in another time, perhaps. Yeah, that's what we're going to stick with for now. Right. Okay. So that is talk is done. We've done stuff. We did that on the first night, so you can go back and check that if you want to. Let's go with. I think I cancelled that. I think we're going to go with Twitch and Patch, which should be quite easy because they're twins. So I can do one of them and hit copy and paste and modify ever so slightly. So yeah, we're going to work on Twitch and Patch. Delete that again, hit save. close. Right, back to the very beginning, back to absolute scratch. So we're going to start off this time with the head. That should be alright. Okay, Twitch and Patch are quite easy. They have effectively style security cameras for heads. Let's make them 550, 550. Scale it out a little bit. Oh, crunchy neck. Anyway, how have your evenings been? How is everything going? I would love to hear what people have been up to, either here or in the comments later if you're watching on VOD. Just pop in and say hi. Now it works. Absolutely typical. Right, that's a bit. Is that a bit too far? No, it should be okay. The only thing that's a little annoying, that's annoying me a little bit at the moment rather, is this microphone, because it's normally up there, but the bracket that holds it in place, it stopped working and it fell off of my ceiling twice, which is counterproductive and painful for obvious reasons. So right now I don't have full movability of this arm because there is a microphone stand right there. But hey ho. It's also the reason I'm sort of whispering, or the reason it has to be this close is because I am whispering and keeping my voice down. Because as you can imagine, one, it's 11 o'clock at night. Let's try and keep chill vibes. It's 11 o'clock here. I don't know what time it is wherever you are in the world. But it's late. Pretty damn late. It's too late to be streaming. It's definitely too late to be shouting and talking loud, especially when there are other people in your house that are fast asleep. And I would like to keep them fast asleep. Not forever, just for now. Until the morning. Preferably a little longer than the morning. Let's bust that just a little bit. Do some ocular stuff. That should be fine. Then what we're going to do this week, let's just, like I've done for everything else, I'm going to round it off just slightly. That should be fine there. I think 3 should be okay here. No. Okay, that's all 5. Again, trying to hit without hitting the microphone. Get 10. Yeah, just curving things, like particular edges takes the, for want of a better phrase, takes the harshness of the thing, I find. Don't want this to look too harsh when it comes down to it. this head should be a bit bigger. At least at the back maybe. Or we could keep it pretty basic. Let's just see what happens if we do this. Okay, that feels a little better. Just gives it a bit more. Bit more personality, making it slightly rounder. That's fine. I'm going to double up on that as well. Reattach new. Right, where's the midpoint of that line? So yeah, not quite touching anything, and then I'll just pull this bit back to there. That's fine. Then I'm going to give him a little antenna. Yeah, that'll do. For those of you wondering if there is a plan here, you must be new. This is going to be 250, 250, just to try and square that off a little bit. There we go. So it's going to give you 70 by 70. That's fine. We're going to rotate. We're going to bevel that a hell of a lot. I don't want, there we go. That's fine, curve that so slightly. The same thing again. sure it touches now. Make it round, there we go. So this is effectively going to be a little antenna. And we have to fix this a hell of a lot in a moment. Or maybe not. For the sake of getting rid of any problems later on, let's just pop some triangles in here. Don't want the mesh breaking at any point in time because I missed a triangle. Be thick enough to see at least. That's not high enough by any means. There we go. Where did you go? That's good enough. We'll add some actual doohickeys down there later on, I think. Speaking of head, let's just for the sake of making things easier later on, let's add an egg hole. Okay. Crunch. Well, hopefully we'll get a dry throat tonight. In the head, because that's usually the best place for them. And then small, simple. Grid's gonna annoy me again. There we go. Right, okie dokie. Now what have we got for his body? For his body, I was thinking quite simply something triangular metal. I was thinking sort of like the droids in the episodes 1 to 3 of Star Wars. That kind of mesh-like, not mesh-like, construction frame, skinny, triangular body. We can afford to make that. Yeah, make it even just for the sake of it. So we do need to this guy up as well, now that I'm remembering. Be nice and easy channel. curious what I'm glancing down every now and then. I have sort of got a little plan. It's sort of a plan. I'm not normally the guy with the plan, but this is kind of as good as it gets. Symmetry. Right. That's fine. Shoulder pads. Maybe these two need to buff backwards a little bit. Okay. That seems to fit better. Let's drop you down. Okay, and then drop in. There we go. That looks better to me. Drop that down there. Drop it in. Offset it back. Think as well. Offset. That's fine there. Right, that's what we need. We need another cut along the chest to connect to that point there. Right. Seem okay. Okay, gotta do this one side at a time. Don't know why it does that. I do know why it does that, I just don't know why it has to do that. It's a bit peculiar. Let's control which way our polygons are bending. We've got to set where that fold is in that square. There we go. Yeah, if the square face is not flat, then the software can't really work out which way it's meant to be. So just putting in the fold, so you go this way. Otherwise it's kind of a null space. Again, let's... Where are you going? Oh, I didn't do it again, did I? No, I didn't, right? Oh, because of the triangles. Just this one. Cool. 1 second. I didn't really have much planned at all for this little guy's body. Figured it would be mostly wires and metals and bits of scrap put together, which kind of works for his character. I'm going to just elevate the fact that this is his back, pull those a little bit further back this way. Pull the chest in just a touch, with a more of an actual frame to it, or figure as it were. Would need a figure, why not? That works. Hey, good evening, class, how are you? Up late again, I see. That's one thick t-shirt, it's not that thick. There we go. It's just dark. There's Strong Jaw Ale. How are you this evening? Oh, the thick t-shirt. Ha 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 ha. Now this is the body for one of our little mechanoids. Don't think he will need a t-shirt. He is unfortunately going to be unclothed. Should make this not safe for work stream. Why are you not the same? Why are you not the same? What happened? Only a single line straight through. Right. Sewage back on there. It's going to come up because this is going to be where we stick our hip joint into. Right, like so. A little bit of jazz. Always unexpectedly welcome. Curve that a little bit more. Right. Curve that around. Do we curve? Yeah, let's let's curve this angle. Why not? That's not too much. I only do 70. That's more of a curve. That's fine. And then just for the ease of getting rid of these lines, I need 1, 2 cuts. 1, 2 cuts. And offset to be a little lower as I put it up on the third. No, that's worked for some reason. You're pretty much half asleep right now. Fair enough. That is a reasonable stance to be at, a reasonable position to be in at this time of night. But as always, I'm glad you're choosing to spend your final moments before sleep here. I'm spending a lot of time making this rounded, and I'm not sure why. Because you know what, I don't actually like that. Ciao. We're going to do this much more simply, I think. Let's, for the sake of right now, let's make that one thing. Yeah, that found it. Perfect. Oh. There we go, that works. Looks a bit more robotic, I think. Right. And then we can just fuse a hip joint onto that later on. Instead of sort of, no, it is a little mechanoid, a little robot. Let's go back, why not? I'll show you what we have so far. We should have, there we go, this is from last night, no not last night, Saturday night stream. This is our heavy duty boy talk. And this is, where's the stub? There we go, this is stub. Our short little problem child. And that's where I am currently working on the torso, but also currently working on turning the short story Control Snow. So if you've not checked that out on the Patreon, pop down and give it a read. It's a cyberpunk remake of Snow White, because I got bored and thought it would be a good idea. And since Disney went ahead and ruined Snow White, I thought I'd give it a go too. This one looks thin. He is thin. He's very thin. This is one of 2 droids who are effectively twins. Which means I only have to model one of them and then hit Control Paste, which I am entirely fine with, because you know, when you're trying to build 7 little robots, you kind of want to take all the shortcuts you need to.
we're already going low poly. So how's it going to look? Might as well go whole hog. And keep him. Because again, all these parts, there's going to be no close-up. This is not Transformers. There's not going to be any kind of close-up scenes of like parts moving and shifting. These are all little characters that are going to be busy running around, having a jolly old time briefly. There we go. Pull those back in a little bit, I think. Now, back out just a little bit. There we go. That looks a little less thin. Okay, if you think that's thin, like, yeah, cool. Might as well name it now. This is going to be Twitch, one of the many platforms I'm currently streaming on. So one of two platforms I'm currently streaming on. So yeah, I'm going for a low poly, stylized, stop motion-esque short film when this is all said and done. These boys are all going to move. Be fully animated and eccentric and doing weird stuff. And we're keeping everything for the most part very, very basic because we're going to texture it up and make it look nice that way. So it's all about the painting. The head is so pushed forward. It has got monster executes about, oh, gravity is glitching. Gravity is going to be glitching whole hog. And that's kind of the plan. I don't want this to look realistic by any stretch of the imagination. I want this to be questionable. But if everything is questionable, then it fits in. That's the trick to make it saucy. Like this is gonna be possibly the thickness of his entire arm. Let's make sure I can. Because your elbow needs to go. Oh yeah, good. I've actually I cut that in properly. Good for me. Your elbow reaches to just about below your ribs, so that's going to be fine. His arms are not going to be to proportion either. Let's make it a little thicker. Make it 1900, okay. Let's see. Right, let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to try and phase them into each other. Well, not phase them into each other, but make it look a bit more like they are properly connected and not just a piece sticking out of a piece, which is indeed what it currently looks like. Give me your face. It's a weird sentence. Give me your face. Right, where's the point? Snap. Crackle. Oh, where's the other one? Yeah. You know about. I am bad at maths. That needs to have 8 sides. go that far back. Ooh, no. Just the faces, not the whole thing. Oh, yeah, I need to remove the front. Nope. Come on. Pretend you know what you're doing. Pretend you're qualified to do these things. Dedicate a significant portion of your life at university studying how to do all this. Let's make it semi-worth it by doing a decent job of streaming it on the internet. Let's take another tube there, let's just make that a bit more tubular. So there. Elbow is also we're going to do something, so we're with the hinge joints, we're going to make a hinge. This one we can keep it. That's for the sake of keeping things kind of practical and the same. Which way? Radius of 90, height of 200 just for this, for the fun of it, and we're going to pop it out to there. There we go. Is there a quicker way of doing what I'm about to do? Slip those two, if I just boil them, boulé them rather. Nope, other way around. That's one way of doing it, but not the way I want. To unionize or ionize depending on your that works, I think. Right, well, when I'm done with it at least. Is he going to have working arms? He is going to have working arms. Hopefully. This is all going to, for all intents and purposes, look like it's meant to function. The word meant to. Okay. Entry head, sorry. I'm going to be honest with you, I may delete all this in a moment if I'm not happy with the way it looks. There's a good chance, there's a very good chance I won't be happy with the way it looks. If it does not come in the way I expect it to. It's not, that hinge is not going to do what it's supposed to. And I've done this backwards again. I always think of these things like human limbs, and that's not how any of this functions. And again, for the sake of avoiding future problems. Where's the angle that I'm looking for? Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't think that through there because there's an extra line there, you numpty. Have I again entirely misinterpreted how hinges work? I'm not gonna lie, there's a bloody good chance that I have. Don't know if I'm gonna be happy with this in a moment. Okay, that's full on. Think. If I just have two bones that come up, so it needs to be able to bend for the sake of just making this. This is not going to be how I make the arms, don't worry. Okay, so for this to be, it needs to be able to bend fully back that way, which it can't do in its current position, but it can do in that angle, or it can do to a certain degree, and I can separate it out. So again, I have simply made that the wrong way around and made the pivot point in the wrong place because I'm designing it like a human elbow, even though we technically, bodies are weird, anatomy is peculiar, and I don't trust it. at us for the sheer sake of insanity. Do an offset there of 10 mil, not even that, let's do 5 mil. And then remove it. Yeah, remove it. Or we fully close it on itself and do every direction but Y. Then move it to the center point there and then out. Where does that point best fit to? There. And again, I'm obsessing over things that aren't going to matter in the long run. Why are you so much higher than everything else? Oh yeah, no. Something down there is lower. And something down there is lower. That's fine, this bit needs to come. I'm just tidying up points now. You may have come to realise I don't really have a plan. Which is fine. Who needs a plan? Plans are overrated. I say can't go off plan if there's level 1 to begin with. Sadly, that's not going to be seen. Why are you obsessing over it? Right. We have another 8 point here. Again. Endurance is now, we've got to fit it. What are you doing? Okay. Into there. That's good enough for me. And again, this is not going to be seen. Don't worry about things that aren't going to be seen. Animation teacher said you never model the back of the fridge unless somebody's tipping it over. Maybe that's going to smooth it with that as well. I'm going to get rid of those bits there. Right. Now again, I have him with a little very kind of small and then like what's the word, claw machine style hands. There you go. Just a little bit. Why is everything so sensitive right now? Right. This is where it needs to get a bit interesting. And I am talking about this stream because I am fully aware watching a man struggle to think is not entertaining unless you watch American politics. that detail isn't going to be seen, but it's going to be seen by you. It is. But here's the thing. I don't care. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. There's no point going into fine details if no one's going to see it. I used to work for a visualization company where my job was effectively modeling absolutely everything that would go into a commercial kitchen. Like absolutely everything. And when I first started, I was going into the finest detail. Like the models I was making were photorealistic accuracy down to the number of, like the shape of the grates and the number of cuts in the ventilation. It was photo quality perfect. And then I realised these are being printed out on A4 sheets of paper that are being presented to people, and you cannot see any of that detail. So it was pointless. So I started severely cutting it down and making it just everything look good from a distance. And that turned out to be one, a massive time saver for me, and two, make bugger all difference to the quality of the photograph at the end, because it all looked like it was meant to. Everything looked as it was expected to, because as long as nobody's looking at the fine details, which for the most part nobody ever is. I just want this to be centered now, so I think it is. Okay, to do the maths for me. Oops, no. Why aren't you doing the maths? Minus brackets. Because there were spaces in it, that's why. Yeah, learning to let go of the small details makes life so much easier, because you're the only one that's going to notice. And this isn't for you, then what does it matter? And yes, to a degree, this entire animation is for me in a sense. Who is for more is one, the people of Patreon, and two, anybody who wants to watch a fun, cool animation, which I think is what this is going to turn out to be. Even that, I just kind of fuse that onto it by just drag you into there. Boulay it. Union. There we go. For the sake of it, for now, let's hide new edges and then we can fuse it together on our own. Oh, sorry. That's really not pleasant to listen to, but it's also very pleasant to feel, right? This feels a little sensitive. I'm going to turn this down. Feels like it's jumping. My mouse feels like it's jumping around a bit more than it should be. Nice and easy. I could just. Yeah, that makes it easier. That gets rid of some points. That'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I do have to make that arm thinner or longer. Yeah, that's good enough. That'll do. That also helps me because I now know that I need to do a little bit of a shuffle if his arm is going to fall closed. Okay, what we can do here is shift to that center point there. Why aren't you working? Well, that's why. There we go. It's got to be in increments of 90 or halves. There we go. That's going to be fine. That's where his arm now faithfully fits in there. Perfect. Now, the claw.
I might, for the sake of having a decent reference point,
claw.
machine. I type in claw machine and the first option it gives me is Birmingham. Are there a lot of claw machines in Birmingham is my question now. Come on. Show me the image.
Okay, that's what we're going with. That's what we're going to try and go for.
Something like that.
Sorry. Sorry. Just volume and stuff again. Yeah. Again, sort of. The only thing I do need to do for definite, because of how anatomy works, is I need to put a. What do I need to bother with a wrist? Do I need to bother with a wrist? There's a question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we'll go there. He's a puny little boy. A puny, puny little boy. And he reaches his own face. That's we're asking the important questions here. Yes, he can. So that's good enough for me. Okay. Zero it out again. He's got arms. His arms are deadly. needs to be going the other way, which means I've got to zero that out. Which means to you I've got to zero you out and make no change whatsoever.
Okay, now to make
Your claw machine on. Or claw machine style at least, I'm not going that far into it. If I just effectively, I'm going to add some more diesel onto these arms later. In a moment, I think it needs more. Oh. Arrow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, 6 times would be easier. Unless I just give him 4 fingers straight off the bat. He's going to get a hand, or he's going to get a Lego hand treatment. He's going to get something. He's going to get a claw. I'm just not quite sure what kind of claw you get. If it's going to be a jointed claw or a single claw, though I am heading towards jointed. I could just, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go back and get Torque. I'm going to nick one of Torque's fingers. Because why bother spending time modelling something if you can't just nick it when it becomes convenient for something else? Something sounds concerning. Good. Absolutely nothing wrong with cheating and using something you made earlier. It's the Blue Peter treatment. This is how I establish where in the world you're from. Flaz, if you understand the Blue Peter treatment, I know you're British. If you don't understand Blue Peter, you're either not British or under the age of 30. I don't know if Blue Peter is still even a thing. Or just an activity people do at weekends. Right. And again, let's. What am I looking for? Where are you? Array. You're literally the first option. Oh, that's too many fingers. Oh, okay, there we go. We can just give him the 3. No, that won't do. There we go. Now they're all kind of facing the same way. That is horrifying. What's so horrifying about it? There we go. Is that better? Okay, 3 is better, yeah. Seems less traumatizing than getting a prostate exam by an octopi robot. Sorry for that mental image. This is why they say 3 is the magic number. I'm just gonna mess with this forearm now. Absolutely no reason whatsoever I'm going to make the centre of his arm shorter. And for this section I'm going to do the same, I think. I've got a knot somewhere here that is just irritating me so much that I can't click it out. There we go. And I'm going to soften up some of these edges. That rubber doesn't look so cute anymore with after 10 fingers. Well, let's pretend they never had 10 fingers and we can just never rewatch this footage. Don't know what I did that for. There we go, let's soften it ever so slightly. There we go. Going straight in there. Just gonna freak you out for a bit now. I'm just gonna go. You said no details why they're suddenly aesthetically pleasing geometry designs. No! There you go, that's what you get for having aesthetically pleasing geometric designs. You get a massive amount of fingers for no reason. Well, that's somewhat peculiar to watch. There we go. Let's undo all of that. There we go. Okay. Let's keep his teeny tiny arm. I do want to do something more with that torso because that bit looks like it should be. You monster. Yeah. I aim to please. I just never say who I'm aiming to please. It's usually myself. What's the point in having those insets there? Absolutely none, so we remove them. And this one here. And for the sake of not having to do this twice, if you have bad dreams about octopi robots tonight, Flowers, it's not my fault. Remember, you chose to be here. No one's forcing you. No one's got you at gunpoint, and that's what I tell my lawyers. That works. That looks like it's meant to be. Line up. There we go. Everything's the same colour now. The American dream. setting the long arms kind of work. And we're going to do a similar order. I need to show. There we go. Easy fix. Didn't need to do that another time. Those fingers very quickly make it into an acceptable terminator design. You know, I had symmetry for this robot before, not anymore. Yeah, fair. To be fair, Twitch is one of the nicer ones in this story. Well, they're all quite nice, but Twitch has some nice character. I think is fun. I'll keep plugging. If you've not read Control Snow, go back and pop down back on the page. I think it should be on the free tier now, so you can pop down and read it. It's not long, so you can kind of see what we're going for and what we're doing with a bit more detail. I probably should put an actual link to the short story in this propaganda. I am not forgetting the torch you put me through. Oh, you might not forget it, but it might make it more acceptable if you have a cute little short story to make up for it. So accept my apologies here. Read something less traumatizing. Not entirely untraumatizing, just less traumatizing. Emotional trauma, not body horror trauma. If you're on body horror trauma, read either When the Last Petal Falls or Siren's Last Call. That's got some body horror in it apparently. It made some people uncomfortable, which I count as a win. I'm going to be pelvising again. Let's just come up 2, and then we're going to go down 2. I could have just typed in 200 there, that would have been easier. And again, just to make life easier later. Pop that there. Make all the difference. He says, no, still not entirely sure what he's doing. I'm going off a very quick pen sketch. There we go, actually, that's fine. There. Why do I keep doing this? I don't need that. There we go. Inset you. Make it big enough to fit a ball in. So what is it? Is he the main villain? Not even close. This is one of the good guys. So, as I said, I don't know. I basically had an idea one afternoon and I decided to write it, which is pretty much what you do when you're a writer. I had an idea to turn Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs into a cyberpunk story, because I happened to be watching something talking about the new film and how terrible it was, showing the clips of the CGI from it. It was live in Corridor Crew, which are also on YouTube and they're great, check them out. Yeah, I was watching Corridor Crew analyse the CGI on that, and I'd also recently been watching Love, Death and Robots, which I love, and I'm also kind of playing Cyberpunk. I've been playing Cyberpunk a little bit, but not a lot. I was enjoying it, though, and then I started doing other things. That's the good guy. I tried to imagine what the villains look like, all fingers. Ugh. Yeah, they're like the hand spiders in Elden Ring. That's all they are. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I decided to rewrite Snow White as a cyberpunk story, and what Snow White has is 7 dwarfs. So in this case, what Snow White has is 7 droids, and this is one of them. Well, you saw the other 2. So Talk and Snub. This is Twitch, and this is also going to be what? Is it Twitch and what, or Twitch and Patch? No, Twitch and Patch. Yeah, Twitch and Patch. I'm gonna have to double check. I can't remember the because I wrote this months ago now. I'm gonna have to double check which ones are the twins. Yeah, you got in total there is Talk, Patch, Twitch, Stub, Hex, Watt, and Bin X, or Binks, however you want to pronounce it. Is he Snow White? No, this is not Snow White. Snow White is the only human character in the story. Even though she will have a cybernetic hand, because it's cyberpunk. Somebody's got to have a cybernetic hand, or you're not doing it properly. At least that's the way I see it. Okay, fair enough, lads. Have a good night. Sleep well. It is gone midday. It's nearly 1 in the morning. It's nearly time for me to finish, so have a good night. Sweet dreams. And all that jazz. I will be here for another 20 minutes and then I'm going to dip as well. Did not get as far with this boy as I wanted to. Disappointed. We can finish him off tomorrow night. What on earth should we do for his legs? We're going to do a similar thing because I want the scrawniness to continue. The theme needs to be consistent, otherwise it's not a theme. It's shoddy work. For the sake of being consistent as well. Make sure his limbs are roughly the same length. Maybe about. Your hip needs to be bigger than your shoulder. That's just science. slightly offset. Yeah. Might be a bit too big. Whatever. I think I've just gone back to where I was, haven't I? I did that wrong. Needs to go in the head first. Let's get rid of the claw machine now. Let's see what tab it is. Right. Yeah, it's one of those. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Go improvise. Because that's gone so well in the past. That kind of works.
What kind of hammer?
We're effectively reinventing the wheel here just by making metallic hips, but still. It's getting a bit quiet and chill now. Mostly because I'm kind of focusing. Right. Okay. Upper leg. Not sure if that's long enough. I don't really need that. That comes all the way up. I think it needs to be longer. Just doesn't, something doesn't seem right. There we go. I need to have a knee. Going to do a similar thing, I think. Keep it consistent. Consistency is the name of the game here. 2 rounds there. Do that at all. Right, we've got to find some way of making these two connect, look interesting and not overhang too much. Really wish it would stop censoring the freaking axis. I'm going to have to disappear soon. I am falling asleep. That has worked fine, I believe. Without my voice breaking, preferably. Don't need to be dealing with that again. Okay, I'm going to leave it here for now. Mostly because I'm too tired to focus and I'm going to think about this tomorrow. Because we should be further along with him. He's not a difficult design, but on the plus hand, he is 2 robots. So that's going to save us some time. Right, so thank you for watching along, thank you for coming. Again, my name is Cennamo-Smith. I am a writer of crime, fantasy, sci-fi and horror. I have a Patreon. The link is down below. It's patreon.com/Cennamo-Smith. There is, you can also find in the comments below my Instagram handle, the link for the Discord. Everybody's welcome to follow along and join in the chat. The banner that's again, this is our tie there. I forgot to mention the banner that scrolls on the bottom. Tells you pretty much every way you can find everything. I have books, I have short stories, I have novellas, I have episodic series. I've got an awful lot. If you hop onto Patreon, even the free tier, you get a load. If you hop on for any of the pay tiers, you get a hell of a lot more. If you hop on for the entire one, you get 4 books included just for free. There you go. Enjoy. Thank you very much for signing up.
So yeah, I've been Cennamo-Smith. It is very late at night. You should be in bed. I definitely should be in bed. So have a lovely evening. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow night. TTFN. Nothing else. There it is. Achoo.